Hi everyone. Here, getting back into art. I know I've been saying this for like a million times, but okay, so it's streaming. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna set up the camera a bit better. You can see it better. I hope that's good like this. Okay, so what I wanted to do is I wanted to get back into drawing with little sketches, and I feel very nervous recently, and yeah, just trying to get back into art, doing something simple and something that it's not going to be even a tutorial, which is going to be drawing little kettles. And I decided that this week I need to make myself kind of get back into drawing every day. And I have created a board on Pinterest of different kettles. So what we're going to do is we're going to make some little fun sketches of kettles with watercolors. So I have you guys here in case if you comment anything. I have you here in front of me also. And anyway, so let's go. I will be just commenting the things that I'm doing in the meantime. So I'm looking at my references, and what I want to do, I wanted to mention also the paper that I'm using. So this is the paper. This is Canson paper, nothing fancy, just a watercolor paper that has very smooth surface, so there's not going to be a lot of texture here, and just a normal pencil with my kneaded eraser. So you can hear Coco on the background, it's possible. Anyway, so what I want to do is I want to sketch out my kettles, and to be honest, I'm inspired by this illustrator. Her name is Tonya Tkach, and she is an amazing illustrator with watercolor. So I just wanted to do something that's kind of inspired by her, and as it's really kind of difficult taking out all the pastels and then putting them away, and I'm not in the best kind of place right now to do that, so I decided just to do watercolors, which is fast, and at least I can get myself back into the rhythm of it. So I have different kettles here in front of me, and I want to do just a couple, just want to fill the page with approximately the same size kettles. I don't know why kettles, I love tea. So let's do kettles. So this week's gonna be the kitchen theme. So I really like this one. I will be drawing it, and you can follow me step by step if you want, or you can just take a look and then choose your kettles from the references that I found on Pinterest, or find your own. Okay, so I taped my paper because I'm using watercolor as usual. You have seen in other videos, I taped my paper, and with watercolor, otherwise the paper is gonna go all googly. So let's start. So here I won't be doing perspective, so I want to do really flat illustrations in a way that there's going to be no perspective, just like kind of childish watercolor style illustrations. So let's start. So I'm gonna mark out my kettle, and this first one is very cute. I'm thinking of uploading it onto the stocks because I have a couple of images on Shutterstock and stuff like that. I've never done it seriously, but it's always been kind of an idea, and we'll see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to roughly eyeball in the bottom line. So as you see, I'm not doing any perspective, so there are no ellipses, no nothing, just straight lines instead of ellipses. So we're kind of ignoring the perspective on this one completely. So we can exaggerate the proportions as well, but for this first kettle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it más o menos, as they say here in Spain, the same proportions as I see it, and just take it easy. As I said, it's been really tough recently, so what I'm doing is now I'm starting to add the details once I have my proportions in place. And the thing is that in illustration, it's actually something that also scares me a bit in illustration, because you can do so many things that sometimes it's scary to start. Anyways, I'm just gonna be chatting away here, and what I want to do is, to be honest, I want to leave those pencil marks, because that's what I love about watercolor illustration, is the pencil marks that actually are there. But what I want to do is I want to kind of intensify the pencil marks in places where there are connections between shapes. So what we're doing here is we're simplifying the shapes, but I'm intensifying the marks where the shape changes. So for example, here on the lid we have this little bob, the round thingy, and where it connects, this is a technique that I learned from Yelena Tatkina. She's one of my favorite pastel artists, and she does graphic work quite a lot, and she kind of accentuates only the parts of the line where it touches another line, and it kind of gives it its own charm. So I really want the lines to kind of stay, but what I like in this kettle also is this little fine detail, that there's like a little line going all the way around here. So I want to show it in the silhouette as well. We're going to put a shadow underneath it, and in my pencil line, I have quite a sharp pencil here. What I'm doing is I am actually accentuating those places where the lines meet. And there's another one at the bottom. These I really hate drinking tea from enamel, I hope you call that right, cups. I remember we had those when I was a kid, but I really love the way they look. I don't know, I like all this kind of vintagey stuff. When I used to live in Italy, I used to go to these markets. They were kind of, I guess you call them flea markets, where there was lots and lots of vintage stuff sold. And I had a whole little collection of my vintage coffee pots, coffee grinders, coffee mugs. It was everything to do with coffee. I guess because of Italy. But anyway, it kind of always called to me. So making here and here, I think I went a bit too far, like so. Okay. The thing is that what I learned about the line, the quality of the line, is that if you create accent points where the line actually breaks, where the shape breaks, and make the line, oh, I think you just heard Juan screaming, and make the line kind of disappear in between, in the middle here, what it does, it actually tricks your eye into believing that the line is actually there. So you will still see the line even though it's not there. So you kind of put the accents, and that does it. Like here, I'm putting the accents, and then we will be adding color, but for now the eye already knows that the line is here. So now what we need to do, and there we go. Again, I'm going to intensify the lines here. where the shape kind of changes as well. And I think I have my first kettle ready and we can add color to it now. But let's continue on to the next one. And I really like the shape of this one. And let's put it here. So I'm going to sketch it in just roughly first. And then use my kneaded eraser to remove stuff that I don't need. Okay. What you can do is you can draw on a different paper and then just transfer it with a light table, but I have it here. But to be honest, I don't know, it seems more alive when you just draw it freehand. So if it's something simple like as these tea kettles, I don't think that we need to transfer anything. If it's a more complicated illustration, then yeah. So this one is kind of rectangular, and this one is going to be a round one. And I'm going to remove the lines that I don't need now. Okay, and here I'm going to put it the same way as it's actually steering the spout. And we don't need to copy it all the way, but the thing that I like here is that it has these flowers on it, so we can substitute those with dots to make it like a bit more to simplify it a bit more, or we can also do the flowers, just simplify the whole pattern. Okay. There we go. And like so. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lift out the pencil, and I'm going to intensify those places where we actually have oh, I don't know why it's disconnecting. Like so. It doesn't have to be even. That's the beauty of illustration, to be honest. Don't have to worry about all these things like perspective, and just go with it. Okay, and here I don't like this connection here, so I'm gonna just remove it a bit and place it over here so it kind of makes more sense. There we go. It's like a chubby little teapot. Okay. Usually when I draw or when I do something that doesn't require you to like think too much, so if it's something like yesterday I was drawing a drapery, and there, yeah, I was like a total silence. But if it's something like an illustration, then I like to listen to audiobooks, and really relaxing. Okay, and then here we have this part that connects the kettle. let's draw the handle. Okay, so we have another one. Oh, Coco, careful. And here we can actually like place in those flowers. We're gonna have them. I'm gonna make them very, very lightly and just create those petals. There we go. And then I will lift it out the pencil like so. I really like how off center the central part of the flower is, so okay. Maybe another petal here, just to keep it consistent, like so. Okay, so we have another flower. Okay. Let's add another one in. I'm gonna look at my references, and there's this simple kettle that is just shiny. So, and it's similar to the first one, but it's a bit chunkier, like it's lower. Like so. Okay, and I don't know, maybe next time I should already start drawing without doing the sketches. Just start painting. Okay, and here we have this lid. Okay, so okay, quite good. This is a ceramic kettle. It has a different connection. So the animal one, animal. Oh my gosh, I don't know how to pronounce that. Animal ones, they have like a very narrow connection to the kettle itself, but the ones that are ceramic, they have this thicker part where the handle, for example, is connected to the kettle. Okay, and this one, it actually has dots on it, but we'll see if we add them. Then I have, let's see, other shapes of kettles. Okay, so here let's put another one that's quite cute. It has chickens on it, but obviously I'm not gonna draw chickens, but I like the shape of the kettle. I'm drawing them. The problem that I have with watercolor very often is that I'm drawing it very small, and then it's difficult to get those details in good. But in this case, I'm trying to get them a bit larger than what I usually paint. That I paint a lot in watercolor. Okay, there's this lid, which I exaggerated, but it's okay. Okay, and it has this nice wooden handle on top. Okay, then go down here, and there's like a slightly chubbier version at the bottom. So I'm kind of eyeing where that lumpy part is going to be. The distance between here and here, so this distance here, is approximately the same. So just to keep things consistent. And I see that here, like it's an illustration also, but I want to keep it tidy. Okay. And I really like to have variety in my shapes of kettles. There we go. Here I'm intensifying those lines. Okay. And I really like these cute holders here on the sides that we have for the handle of the kettle. So this is our center line, and it's a bit thicker in the central part and thinner on the sides. So there we go. This is our shape. What I want to learn also is to learn to simplify things as much as possible, because I notice that often copying things from reality is not that difficult. What's difficult is to simplify and to kind of stylize things. So I like it. It looks like a bottle. Mirrored bottle. Okay, and then we have this little thing here that holds it in place. So, and we have a little curve. Almost got the curve. Like so. This curve I like. And then there's a little thing holding it here in place as well. Okay, and here do the same thing. So we make a curve. Oop, too far. Now there's going to be, okay, this is a better one. Okay, looks good. Hi anyone that's there. I see that there are 3 people watching, so hopefully you're having a good day. Just wanted to say hi. Oh, 4 people, great. So, and then I'm gonna add the spout over here. And we have our shape ready. So we have 4. I'm thinking let's go for 6. Let's do 6 little kettles. And then just when we edit the images in Photoshop, then we can just align them. I'm just putting them in the composition. That is not the composition. That is like something that just where I want, to be honest. This is not the composition. What I should have done is I should have plotted out where my kettles are going to be, but it's fine. As long as I don't smudge them too much, as if I'm going, but there's one thing that I don't like now is that it's touching here. So if you can see here, there is the lip of the kettle, and here it was touching, and this is something that you should try to avoid in any drawing. Okay, so this is one thing, and I actually think one of these could have dots. I'm thinking either this one or maybe this one. We will take a look then. I'm just gonna take a look at other references that I have. There's one that is very cute. I'm saying that this is not straight. Let's straighten it out. Okay, so I see. It's fine. I see like different patterns that I like. We can make another one similar to this one, but with a different pattern. But if not, I'm thinking let's maybe make another shape and maybe give it patterns. So there's this little thing that is quite cute, and that looks quite Eastern, to be honest. This is a great exercise also to build up your visual library, because normally you wouldn't go drawing many kettles all together, but as here I have a goal of actually having all the different shapes. My mind is going to store these images, so when I will need to draw a kettle, I will already instantly remember some of these shapes and not go with the standard one that I have in my mind. Okay, sorry, I have to enter this. Okay, believe it or not, someone mistook the apartment. Okay, so, but I'm gonna take what was I saying? The pattern from another kettle here. When we're gonna be painting this, I'm gonna use another pattern here, not the one that I see on this kettle. I'm just thinking. Okay, and then here we have this little foot that it's standing on. Okay, and it has this very cool handle. So as it's ceramic, it's going to have quite a wide connection base, but the handle goes in a very cool way, like so. Just kind of wraps around here. Don't know if you can hear Juan barking. Now she's not barking, now she is whistling. Okay, and there we go. I really like this kind of loopy thing happening here. Okay, getting really thirsty. Okay, so we need to give it also a spout. Do you call it a spout? And it's quite of chunky also. One is going crazy. There we go. Okay, I hope you can see the kettles well. And I think we still have place here for the last one, for the sixth one. And let's choose something interesting. Just taking a look. Okay, I see this square one. It's almost like a square, and I really like it. So it's going to be a different shape. So I'm going to put it in here. My parrot sometimes believes she's a dog. Okay, and let's give it a spout. Actually, I'm going to move it a bit just to keep it also a nice composition. So I'm going to move it here, like so. Okay, so it's kind of a rectangle shape. Then we have another rectangle coming up here. Nice. And from this we can connect like so. And over here, I'm gonna put in this detail instantly. I know, you should never add details before you finish the artwork, but we're breaking all the rules here. I don't care, right? Of course we are. Okay, and actually this part, I'm gonna make it a bit, go towards the inside like so. There we go. Okay, so, and here I really like this, like here we're going kind of wrapping it like this, and here we're going the other way around. We're making it like bulging it out. So I think it's nice. Okay. Even like in small things, it's nice to create some kind of an interesting movement. Okay, and here we're gonna put the line that's going to be the end of our kettle, and let's add a bit of a lip. Okay, adding a lip, and I'm going to add in the the line came out here. I'm gonna add in, actually let's make it smaller. No, let's make it the same size. So this is going to be the lid, but the inside part is gonna be, like the central part is gonna be smaller, like so. Okay, and it has this interesting handle, like so. And now what we're missing is a spout, which we can start. No, I don't like this. too much. Let's lower it a bit. Something's wrong here with the spout. Like so. Better. Looks like an elephant a bit. There. This is better. Okay. And here we have these things that connect the kettle, but like how they are. Let's do only this part. I don't want it to be the same width as my kettle. So, and again we have like a little bit of a curve happening here, and then it goes back straight. There. And it has quite a big handle. Look at it, it's almost the same. Actually, we can make it a bit narrower. I don't like it so wide. With an eraser, the good thing is that it doesn't damage the paper as much as any other normal eraser, so you can make more mistakes. Okay, so we're gonna have this. Going to draw a straight line for now. Can't draw a straight line. There we go. And now to make the silhouette more interesting, we're gonna dip in here. And the same thing on this side. There we go. Okay. There we go. Okay, I think we have our kettles ready to be painted. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna remove a bit of the pencil. I like pencil marks, but still has to have them. Still have to be quite translucent. Okay, so what I have now is I prepared water, let's do like this. Prepared my pencil, prepared my paint, prepared my water, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to take my brush and I'm going to start layering in the first colors. So I'm thinking of this kettle. I really want to make it red, and I'm thinking either keeping it white and blue and keeping them all in the same palette, or going like 3 random colors, 3 red, blue, and yellow. Like, let's start with the one that is red, and then we go from there. Again, this is not the way you approach an illustration, but today I feel like it. So I'm gonna start with my red kettle, mixed out my watercolors. I'm going to layer in the red color and go around my flowers. I want my light to be on the left, So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to remove the paint to create. Oh, what happened to the paper? Okay, this is not a nice thing, but fine. Anyway, we can add the whites later on as well. What I'm doing is I'm letting my water drop constantly be wet. If it's not wet, it's going to dry out and we're gonna have like an edge to the watercolor. So this is a small size that of an area that I'm working on, but if it's a bigger area, then you have to make sure that you're keeping the drip wet in all the places where you're actually painting. If it's wet, it's going to allow me to do so. So I'm moving the water around, and here I'm continuing on this side, and as it was wet, it's not going to create that edge where the watercolor dries out and then you're trying to connect it, which also can have its uses. It's not a bad thing, but I want to make an even wash here. And what I want to do is I want to take my blue, the one that I will be using, it's kind of a dirty blue. See this one? Okay, this one I like it more for a blue and white. What I want to do is I want to drop just a little bit of this blue inside and of more red towards the shadow parts. And if it's too much, so here I'm kind of mixing them together with the brush, but if it's too much, I'm going to lift it out with my paintbrush. And here already I can add the shadow. Okay, so I'm gonna add now the handle. Actually, the handle, I want to make it black. Let's make it black. So I'm gonna now add the spout, and I'm taking enough water so that I can move the color, the pigment all the way down towards here. And here I'm not connecting it all the way for now, but what I want to do is I want to add more pigment over here to create that kind of shadow effect and to indicate that it's connected to my kettle here and that this is going to be the shadow part. Okay. Let's make another one red, and here I'm thinking of doing that. Ornament, so it's going to be white and red. So what I want to do is I want to first paint it white, my kettle. But okay, let's start better from the left, and I'm gonna make my blue kettle. So I'm gonna take a lot of water and just add the first wash. Here I'm gonna try to reserve that white highlight. So we have the light shining from this side. Adding the water drop so it doesn't dry out on me. Easier because we don't have to go around the flowers or anything. These watercolors are really, really relaxing. Like, okay, and I'm gonna add the spout. So we're gonna have a bit of highlight here, maybe like a little one. And for now we can blend it in. Okay, and here what I want to do is I want to take a bit more pigment, and I want to add instantly more color into the shadow area. So here, this side is going to be the shadow. And another thing that I want to do is I want to add a bit of, we're going to be adding yellow as well. So I'm just going to drip it in. I'm going to take away the water here. And I'm going to drip in some of that yellow just to maybe indicate a bit of slight rust in places. And drop it in the yellows here just to make it more interesting. Okay, let's make one that is kind of turquoise color. I think it's very kind of interesting color. Looking for a blue. Okay. So this one, I want to make it quite light. Again, keeping my brush wet, and the paint actually was a bit dirty and it has some yellow in it, so I like the color that came out. I'm gonna add some to the shadow here, adding it to the lid. And the handle. Okay. Then let's go with a green one. So I'm gonna take my same, make a green with the yellow that I used, and let's do a green kettle. Trying to keep my water drop always wet. This one is easy to cover up. And I'm going to add a bit of blue here as well. Okay, and adding the spout. Okay, adding more color into the area where they kind of, where one shape meets the other. Okay. And I want to make this white kettle. So I'm going to mix all three of my colors. The blue. And I'm going to make it very watery. Very, very watery, so that still a bit more blue. It kind of creates a bit of gray. Too warm. Okay, so this is going to be my white color. Mixing in the blues. Okay, so this is kind of good. And let's do the white kettle. I really want to do the white kettle. So these two, maybe we make them white, both of them. Just a bit more blue here to make it a bit cooler. Okay. So these two kettles will be white, but one is going to have blue accents and the other one is going to have red accents. Or maybe one is going to be white and black, and the other one is going to be with blue or with red. Trying not to rub the paper too much because of what happened here. Okay, and then the other white, this one. I'm going to be adding highlights later on with a gel pen. Note to self, map out the outline, the highlights beforehand. Okay. And here we're gonna have a wooden handle, the wooden thingy. So here we can add a bit of splatter. Okay, so while I'm gonna add this color into this as well, so as to unify a bit all of our kettles. Okay, maybe there's too much water collecting here, so I'm gonna also go inside here. Anyway, we're gonna be covering this all up. Okay, so now what I want to start doing is I want to start adding second layer. So I have my red, and I actually don't like this red very much. I want something brighter, like something more vibrant red. This is good. Okay, so I'm gonna start adding the second layer because otherwise it's too bleak. So what I'm doing now I'm already starting to think, okay, so there is going to be a highlight over here, and this part is going to be in the shadow. So I'm moving all the paint down here, like so. And this part is going to be over here, like so. So you can already see that it's becoming kind of more alive, brighter. Okay, so here what I'm gonna do is I'm going to start separating the spout from my kettle. And here I will add a bit of a highlight also. And another highlight maybe over here. Towards here, we're gonna have more color. Okay, and now I need some black. This is my Payne's gray. Yep, for the handle. So now I'm working on areas that do not touch each other. So as not to mix the colors. There we go. And what I'm gonna do is wear this shape connecting. I'm gonna wear the black. Okay. So we can do the same thing to add the blacks. I think this is dry already. So what we can do is add the blacks over here to our green kettle. Like so. There we go. And also these things. And what we can do is we can drop a bit of color into this black. I'm going to use a bit of red, a bit of blue, just to keep it a bit more fun. Okay, and also this little handle over here. Okay, for now I'm going to leave this one. I think I'm going to leave this one black and white as well. Like not black and green, but black and white. And here I'm going to try to leave out a highlight like so. Then we will add the second layer to fix it. Again, too much water. Too much water. Let's add a bit of blue. Okay. So, and the handle of the lid. There we go. And these parts as well, black ones that connect our. Then we will also do the lip, but I want to do the first another layer of white on top. Okay, so let's go back to our blue now. And add more blue into our kettle here, picking up more water. And I'm not covering the whole area, I'm covering parts, so I'm leaving more space around the highlight. here. Just intensifying the color, otherwise it's going to be too bleak. Like so. Trying not to get inside the areas that I painted already. Okay. Now let's go into our turquoise kettle. Okay. Okay. And let's go into the white. Otherwise it's too bleak as well. The same we do here, going more into the shadow areas and not covering all of it. Okay. Okay, I think we are good up until now. I need to do the reds now. See that my reds are very, very not bright. So what we're gonna do now is add another layer of red. Avoiding the flowers, and I'm gonna add those flower centers as well now with a brighter color. There we go. Okay. So while I'm waiting for these to dry, I think that our green one is done drying already, so we can start adding details into the green kettle. So I have my green color and gonna where's my blue and my yellow. So this is my green color. So what I want to do now is start adding the shadows. So First of all, I want to detach the lid from like all the parts that are not connected. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add here a line that separates it from the kettle itself, and with water I'm going to pull it out into the spout, and I'm going to add more right on the edge here. This will make it so that it separates the spout from the kettle itself. Okay, the same thing I'm gonna do is separate this lid. From the kettle itself as well. Adding quite a lot of paint here. And now I'm gonna be softening it into the lid on the edge here. Pulling it all the way through the lid. Okay, and adding more color to kind of detach it to create that edge, the sharp watercolor edge. Right where it connects. Here I can add more. And here at the bottom, I'm going to add it as well, just so it creates a shadow, like so. Then I have this part that is detaching, and it's kind of further away from us than the bulgy thingy, the decoration thingy. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to smooth it out with water into the kettle itself. And where I see that it's moving away too much, I'm going to add more color, like so. And I think I need to mix up a bit more of this green because it's not enough. I'm gonna do the same thing here at the top where there's this lip. And I'm going to pull it out with the water. Like so. Okay, I'll do the same thing here at the bottom as well. Okay, here this is the thing that I spoke about, this hard edge. Okay, take it off. There we go. Okay, for now that's good. Now with the black, what I want to do is I want to make the shadow over here and over here. so. These are connected, and here, as we know that the sun is hitting on the left, this is going to be in the shadow. Like so. Here I have a thing bleed in. We can pick it up always, not a problem. Okay. Now in the blue one we do the same thing. My blue. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to separate this lid and with the water I'm just going to soften the edge here like so. Again, this part here and here. I'm going to add more blue right on the edge. Then here, where we have this decorative part, and I'm going to soften it with water. Like so. Then again, we have another lip over here. And soften it with water again. There we go. And there is this lip, so that we're creating kind of the decorative part over here. Okay. And what I want to do is I want to do the same for my spout. Moving it out into here, so we have kind of a connection between the spout and the kettle itself, like so. Okay, can add a bit of black shadow over here the same way we did with the other kettle. Like so. There we go. And now we're going to be increasing the difference between the spout here and the kettle itself. Because remember, we still have it white, but we need to add a bit of a shadow in there so that it separates the kettle from the spout, like the body of the kettle from the spout. Get too much water. Okay, here the same thing. And I'm taking a clean brush and I'm just pulling it out into the kettle here. And the same thing goes for over here to separate that lid. Then we will be adding also the shadows. Clean brush, softening the edge. Here we go. And time to drink water, softening the edge. Moving the color towards here. Okay. Now I'm gonna do the same thing with the red, because you see that the red doesn't have the separation. Yes, Coco, what do you want? We will go outside soon. Like so. I'm going to take a bit more red to create that. Separation part. Okay, so now it's coming a bit of a kind of a 3D look, hopefully. Okay, so we need to, here I see this part a bit, fine, let's leave it as it is. Let's do the turquoise. Okay, and with clean water. What do you want? And also in these parts where it actually attaches. Like so. Okay. So I think the green one, I think it's already dry, so let's add a shadow to the green. I'm gonna add a bit of blue into my shadow color, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to add a layer over the green to add an imaginary shadow. Same goes here. Same goes for our lid. So the shadows, I'm gonna make them with a hard edge. Like so. I think it's too much, to be honest. Okay, let's do now the shadow for our whites. So we have this part in the shadow. I think it's too light. Let's add a bit more color into this. So we're gonna make the shadow here, and then the shadow will go like so, and at the bottom. The same will go here, like so. And over here. I'm just gonna soften it just a bit. There we go. This one also needs a shadow, but I'm gonna add a shadow here on the other hand. Here. And we're gonna go with the cylinder and then the ball. Here. Okay. And we've got the shadow happening. And let's soften it just a bit. Okay. Now with the turquoise, I'm gonna go and create a shadow as well. Here at the bottom. And here. Okay, and the blue. Okay. Now what's lacking is our red. We have the shadow. And we'll put the shadows on the flowers. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little paintbrush now. I'm gonna start adding some details. You can add this also with colored pencils, but I want to work a bit on the detail. Okay, then we have this little lip. It's going to be black as well. Okay, and here I'm gonna add a bit of hatching just to make it a bit more interesting. mm, and I'm fixing the silhouette here. And what I want to do is I want to take a lighter paint gray and add this metallic part that is quite thin, but it connects our handle. There we go. There we go. And when it's dry, I want to add one line here, the decoration thing. Actually, we can do two. There we go. I'm going to add a shadow part to this lip as well. There we go. And a black tip. Oh, I have a black tip. I have a little hair here. Like so. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to do the same thing for the green. So we were mixing the blue with the yellow for this. Here we have is the green. To add this part here. Take more color. Like so. I'm gonna do the same thing that I did for the black. Add a bit of cross hatching here on the lid, on the handle, and fix a bit that silhouette. Anyway, then usually the illustrations, they get cut out on in Photoshop, so okay. I'm gonna take a bit of blue here. I'm gonna do the same thing for my blue, but here I'm gonna do it the other way around. To kind of accentuate this line here. So, gonna add a bit of blue here to make a bit of a shadow on my handle. Trying not to touch anything too much, not to smudge anything. add a bit of more blue here. And separate this thing more. Like so. Okay. So what I want to do with this kettle, so I want to add some blue. Okay. And I want to make this handle blue as well. And the bottom here, I want to make it blue as well. Like so. Okay. What I'm thinking now is that I want to add little white dots on this kettle. I will be using the acrylic paint that I have, but also I think this can go on and on forever. Yay! A bit of shadow here. And this part, I wanted to make it black. Now I remembered. This bowl as well. Because it was an anal kettle. Okay. I think we finished the part with the paint almost. Yay, I'm talking to myself. Okay, and here we need to add this part where it's connecting. Very good. Okay. And now what I want to do is I'm going to add first stuff with the white paint, and we can add some details also with the colored pencils. So I'm gonna let it dry for a bit while I take the white paint. Not trying not to step on my dog. Okay, there it is. First I want to add highlights. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be adding highlights with the white paint, but I need it to be dry. So the things that I see that are dry already, you can actually paint. Coco, don't push me. So I have this acrylic paint that should let me add highlights. Should be quite opaque. There, yep, works. not everywhere, but on the black somehow it works better because I think you can see the okay. This is still wet. See the blue. Yes, go calm down. Okay. Okay. Coco, stop it. Okay. Okay. And let's see if we manage to get some dots. Actually, I don't want to do dots. I want to do lines. On the red. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clean up my brush well because it's acrylic paint. Close this, and what I'm thinking is I'm gonna take a colored pencil. I'm going to add a bit of texture into my Kettles. This is it dries, so let's wait until it dries. And in the meantime, we can sharpen the colored pencils. Okay, I have Prismacolors here, but it doesn't matter what colored pencils you have, to be honest. Okay, so I'm thinking that for the whites, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna use the normal pencil. So what I want to do is I want to give it, it's actually, no, it's not too shiny. In the shadows, I want to add a bit of hatching. Just try not stuff. Just make sure that it's all dry, because if it's not dry, then you can get into trouble here. Kettles. There we go. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my turquoise, and I have just the color. I need to sharpen it. Oh, I don't break the house. Okay, so what I want to do first is I'm going to create those texture lines I was talking about. Coco, now we go. Calm down. Okay. Coco, stop it. Coco. And with the other one, I'm gonna give it a bit of texture. And I'm going to sharpen it. And just giving it a bit of texture over the watercolor where the shadow part is. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing with this white one. So here, what I'm doing is I'm adding a bit of hatching on top of the watercolor. There we go. And with the blue, I'll do the same thing here. Just to give it a bit more texture. So it's not so boring. There we go. Same thing goes for this blue. Okay. Then we have the green. now we're left with the red. Where's my red? Need to sharpen it. Ooh, almost poured the water. Okay, there we go. Our kettles are all ready, and we can actually take off the tape. And put them into Photoshop. And ooh, the tape is not very well glued. Okay, so we can put it into Photoshop and then take it from there. I'm gonna be posting how they came out and on Instagram and on Patreon. Anyway, thank you for watching, for anyone that has been watching, and I hope this has been interesting. Bye everyone.